Hello and welcome. And today's video is going to be another one in our series of easily confused words. And we're looking at advise, A-D-V-I-S-E, versus advice, A-D-V-I-C-E. And in many cases, the meaning of frequently confused words that we've looked at, like effect and affect, have completely different meanings. With advice and advise, that's not true. Advice and advise have almost the same meanings. But when it changes from a noun to a verb, the spelling changes from advice with a C to advice with an S. Both words mean a suggestion. So suggestion is a noun, and it makes the noun advice, A-D-V-I-C-E. Suggest is a verb, the action of making a suggestion, and that's A-D-V-I-S-E. So for example, he accepted his father's advice with a C, it's a noun, and continued his education. Next one, his father advised with an S, so it's a verb this time. His father advised him to continue his education. Next one, the doctor advised, a verb, him to stop smoking. Last one, he followed the doctor's advice with a C because it's a noun. Other similar words, advisor, A-D-V-I-S-O-R, which is a noun, means someone who gives advice. So for example, Sotutu is a legal advisor to businesses. He makes sure they don't do something that breaks the law by mistake. Next word, advisable. It's an adjective, it means something is a good idea to do. Negative. So you should say, I advise you not to, instead of I don't advise you to. If you say I don't advise you to, it means you're not giving any advice. All you're saying is I'm not going to advise you to do this. And that's different from giving advice not to do something which says don't do this. That is my advice to you. Nevertheless, a lot of people would say I don't advise you. Okay, countable versus non-countable. Advice is a non-countable noun. If you've made two suggestions, you would say, I've given you two pieces of advice. Advice is non-countable, but piece is countable, so you can say two pieces. Okay, let's try it. Sometimes advice or advise is hard to accept. You have to choose which one. And as usual, I'm going to give you the answer fairly quickly, so pause your video if you need to, and then unpause when you're ready. And the answer is advice with a C. Next one, if you want my advice or advise, don't turn left here. The traffic's bad that way. You choose which one. And the answer is advice with a C. I advise or advise you not to swim here. The water is very fast. And the answer with an S, advise with an S. I have two something. Don't go to the casino and don't drink alcohol. And the answer for this one is two pieces of advice. Next one, my teacher something me to study hard. And the answer, advised, past tense. Have to get the tense right. My friends, something was to watch Moana 2 as soon as possible. And the answer, advice with a C. My mother, something me not to walk on the road in the dark. And the answer, advised with an S, but also past tense, so advised. The police, something drivers to avoid the center of Misot because there was a big parade. And the answer is advised with an S, past tense. My friend told me never to fall in love. It was the worst something I ever received. And the answer is advice with a C. Something you not to eat a lot of jackfruit. If you eat too much, your stomach will hurt. And the answer is advised with an S. Okay, now correct or not correct? My advice is to study as hard as you can when you are at school. Correct or not correct? And the answer is not correct. My friend advised me to stop chewing betel nut. And the answer is correct. Next one. I followed my doctor's advice and started running every day. And the answer is not correct. Should be with a C. Every week I get an email advice helping me to learn English. And the answer is not correct. My teacher advised me to choose education as my major. And the answer is correct. If I had followed my father's advice, I would be rich today. And the answer is not correct. Should be letter C. Advice is easy to give, but hard to follow. And the answer, correct. My doctor advised me to lose 5 kilos. And the answer is correct. Next to the river was a notice that advised people not to swim there because it was dangerous. And this one, the answer is correct. I will give you one piece of advice. Don't take drugs. And the answer is not correct. And this is the end, my friend. See you again next time. Bye now.